What's going on YouTube? So today we're doing a review on the Ryobi 5-inch random orbit sander. Let's get started. Alright, so just in case you didn't see it, I completed a video for the Craig jig. Never used one before and it actually worked very well for me, but I put the plugs in and I needed something to sand the plugs down so I could conceal the holes and actually make it look nice. So I ran up to the Home Depot and I purchased an orbital sander, and I like Ryobi tools, so this right here was just a perfect price for me, and boom, it worked perfectly. I'm going to show you how that works. It actually comes with a couple pieces of sandpaper. I'll show you that. It comes with a dust collection kit and works pretty well. So let's take a look at this real quick. So let's talk about the actual fill. Fill's heavy duty, and I put the dust collector bag on here and it actually collects pretty well. But heavy duty, got a nice grip, ergonomically correct. Right here is your on button, off button, and so on. So if you look right here, that's what's going to turn it on and off. You can see the symbols right here as well. You're going to have a 2-prong electrical cord, but once again, it feels really good in the hands. On the underneath, you are going to have a Velcro pad, which allows you to stick the sanding disc on there, 5-inch, and I use the Diablo, but like I said, it also comes with a few pads, and these holes right here are going to allow that dust to come up through and into this bag. So you want to make sure that the holes on the sanding pad match up the holes on the actual base itself. All right, so let's match these up. So here's the sanding pad itself, and I am going to come right here, and I'm going to match that hole up with that hole and that hole there, and so on. So now you can see that the holes are lined up, and that's going to allow the dust to come in, be collected, and go into the actual bag. So what I have here is an old door that I use around the garage. You can see there's some gloss, some shine to it. What I'm going to use on this is a 120 grit paper. 80 grit's really going to help take the finish off and really scuff this thing up. If you're sanding plugs, like I'll show you here in a bit, then it's really going to take that down quick, but it's not so great for painting because it's a heavier grit. I use 120 because 120 will take that plug down if I needed to, or really rough it up, but it's also allowing me to have a smoother surface that I can paint instead of having to go over it again with a lighter grit sandpaper, like a 200, 220 or something like that. So let's turn this thing on and see how it works. So right here I'm going to hit my on button. I'm going to bring this up. All right. So now I sanded this to the point that I got that gloss off there, and if I wanted to, I could paint that afterwards. And you could clean this off with a rag or whatever, but it works very well. So if you're doing cabinets, which I'm going to use this on my cabinets because I'm going to refinish them, I would use the 120 grit, and once again, you can clean that off, but it should remove that stain or whatever you're trying to get, that color you're trying to get off of there, that's on there you don't like now, and be able to paint it or restain it if you want, because it should be smooth enough now. That being said, it's pretty simple. Once again, you get 3 pads, and let me see if I can show these to you real quick. They actually come in the box and there's instructions, but you get 3 pads, and once again you get the 220, you get the 120, and you get the 80. And the lower the number you go, the stronger this is going to be, right? The more coarse it's going to be, so you're going to be able to tear up a lot more. And then the higher end the number you go, the more fine it's going to be, and that's going to allow you to really smooth that out. So let me show you what I did with the actual Craig jig after I put the plugs in and how I smoothed that out. All right, so just to give you an idea of how well this actually worked, if you haven't checked out my video on the Craig jig, check it out. But this is what I used to drill the holes and then put the screw in and connect these 2 pieces of wood right here. Very strong joints, but I needed something to cover up those holes. Even though those are going to be in the back, you probably won't see them. Actually, to tell you the truth, I have one right here. you would just slide this down in. Oh, sorry, wrong way. Slide that down in like that, and it would pop up a little bit. You would put some glue in there, and what I did was I come over and I sanded it, and it made it completely smooth to the touch, and it also really smoothed out my piece of wood. So now I was able to paint that or stain that, and I used this right here. So basically, like I said, and it made it incredibly smooth. So extremely happy with this. Once again, not a lot to it, but it works phenomenal. If you wanted to, you could take this off right here, and you can see there's some dust in there. There you go. So it collects it pretty nicely. You're still going to end up with, you know, a little bit, obviously, but all in all, happy with this. Ryobi did it again. They did a very good job. So if I were to give this a rating between 1 and 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best, it's easy. I'm giving it a 5-star. For the price alone, go check it out. I'll put a link on the bottom of the page. For the price alone, you can't beat that. You just can't beat it. So happy with it. If this helps you, please thumbs up, subscribe. We'll catch you later.